Hear that? If I go to the left side of that junction, you can hear the engine. Nothing. Hello and welcome back to the Old Soul Millennial channel. So we have a situation on our hands here. As I was entering the garage the other day, I heard that dreaded beeping sound coming from the invisible fence transmitter. Now that beeping sound indicates that we have a break in our wire loop somewhere around the property. This is something nobody wants to deal with, but in today's video I'm going to show you how to find that break in the wire utilizing a couple things you probably have laying around your house. You do have the option of calling out a professional, but nowadays probably looking between $200 to $500 to call out a professional. Nobody really wants to spend that money, especially nowadays. So how do you determine where the break in the wire is? Well, here's the first thing I'd recommend you doing. Go around your property and do a visual inspection of where that wire is, or where you think the wire is. Try and make the determination if that ground was recently disturbed in any way. And also look at your high traffic areas. So did you recently edge your garden bed? Perhaps you hit that line with a shovel and you broke the wire there. Is there an area where you constantly go over with an ATV or a tractor? These are just a couple things that I can think of in my head that would lead me to believe that's a likely area where your wire broke. Now, I don't have any of that. So I'm kind of left wondering where the break is. So the other issue with me is my wire has been buried for probably 10 or 12 years, so it's all covered in leaves, dirt, naturally decaying material and roots, so it's almost impossible for me to make a visual determination where that break is. So what do you do? Well, here's the first thing that you're going to need to do. Here's the transmitter. Here's the transmission lines. So the transmission lines go out to the loop. They make a connection here and here. And of course they go in opposite directions. So once the transmitter determines that there is a closed loop, at that point then it will send out that signal. Now you can't take your dog collar and just start going over the line with a break in it, because we don't have a complete signal. It's not going to work. So here's the first thing you need to do. You need to figure out where these two junction points are, where the transmission lines connect to the main loop. Here's how I did that. One, I took a look at where these wires left the house. I got my bearings and I followed those wires going out to the loop. From there, I took a rake and I was able to uncover where the wire was, and I was actually able to figure out where that junction point was. It's also helpful if you have a metal detector. I did use a metal detector and that helped, but if you know the general direction where that wire is going and your wire is just laid on top of the ground, you can generally determine where that junction point is. Now what you need to do, you need to disconnect these two junction points from the main loop and jump these two together. So what we've done, we've taken the transmission lines and created a closed loop here. Plug your transmitter in. Once you plug your transmitter in, you want to determine if the transmitter is beeping. If the transmitter continues to beep, that means that your problem is in between the transmitter and this junction point. So your problem lies here. Now, if your transmitter stops beeping, like it did in my case, it indicates that we have a problem somewhere in our main loop. So what are we going to do next? Well, we're going to take our lawnmower, we're going to go out to where this junction point is, we're going to wrap a wire around the ignition coil of the lawnmower with the lawnmower running, we're going to strip the other end of the wire, and that stripped end is going to connect to one leg of our loop, and then what we're going to do, we're going to take that AM battery operated radio and we're going to tune it to the frequency that that ignition coil is thrown off. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take the radio and we're just going to walk down along that wire and try and figure out when that radio stops transmitting that specific frequency. Hopefully we can come to the determination where the break in the line is. So let's go outside and let's see if we can figure out where this break is. Alright, so now we're out in the field. We are currently at the junction point. So this is the point where these transmission lines that come from the house connect to the main loop. This is one side of the main loop and this is the other side of the main loop. So as mentioned earlier, the first thing I did was disconnect these two connections, which there should be some type of connections. If you don't have a connection here, you're going to have to cut it, strip it back, and connect it later. But basically what I did, I took my two transmission lines, I connected them together, plugged in the transmitter, and the beeping stopped. So that tells me that the transmission lines are fine. There's no breaks or no faults. Once I connect them together, it creates a closed loop and the beeping stops. So we can put these aside for now because we know that there's no issues with the transmission lines. Now, what you're going to have to do now is you're going to have to get like I said, maybe an 8-foot piece of wire, and you're going to have to wrap that around the ignition coil that goes to the spark plug on a small engine. In this case, I'm using a Craftsman LT 2000 lawnmower. So you're going to wrap that around the ignition coil. I'll show you what that looks like now. Then you're going to have to strip one end of the wire back so you have some nice shiny bare copper. And on the stripped end, you're going to connect that to one side of your loop. In this case, I'm going to use the left loop. I'm just going to take an alligator clip to hold these two connections together. So this is ready to go. What we're going to do in a moment here, start up the engine, go a little bit further down this line, take our AM radio, and we're going to tune it to the same frequency that this ignition coil is putting off. I know it sounds like a wise tale, but I have a good feeling that this is going to work. Alright, so we're probably about 60 feet away from the tractor right now. Here's the invisible fence wire. This is on the edge of the grass and the garden, so I always keep a rock over this so I know not to hit it when I'm edging the garden bed. But I have my battery operated AM radio set a little bit below 600 right now. If I turn this on, listen what happens when I get closer to the wire. You can hear that feedback. So because that wire is wrapped around the ignition coil, it's sending out this frequency, this signal, and this radio is picking it up. So I know where we have the tractor connected to the wire, to this point, we have a solid connection. So what we'll do, we'll just go down along the length of the wire, and we'll try and figure out a point where this is no longer transmitting. And once we figure out that point, we should be able to pinpoint where the break or fault in our line is. All right, so I have the mower running down there. From me to the mower, I'm probably about 400 feet away from the mower. But going down along the line, you know, the line loops kind of this way, I'd say I'm about 700 feet down the line from the mower. So I have my AM battery operated radio tuned to the frequency of that ignition coil. I'm going to go up the wire here and you're going to hear the engine. Hear that? That's the spark going off. That's what we want to hear. So that means we have a good connection at this point. As you can see, some of the jacket on this wire has peeled away, which isn't great, but the wire is still transmitting to this point. Taking a look at this rock right here, you can see where some of the jacket has melted away. But again, we can hear the engine up to this point. Still fine. But this is what I found. Take a look at this crazy junction. So these wires are just twisted together. No protective caps, none of that. This is just a mess. So if I go to the left side of that junction, you can hear the engine, but if I go to the right side, nothing. So if I was a gambling man, I would say that is definitely one of our problems. See, nothing on this side of the wire. Go back to the left side. You can hear the engine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to replace about a 20-foot section of wire here, and then I'll reconnect everything and see if that solved our problem. All right, so I just finished making the connections on this 20-foot section of wire that I just replaced. I did make an overhand knot in the wire. That way, if there's ever any pull on the wire, it will ensure that there's no pressure being placed on the wire nut. Again, dielectric grease inside, electrical tape. Probably not the best method, but you know, it's what I have. And this is what was here before, so this is a million times better than what was here. So without further ado, let's go back down to our transmission wires connected to the main loop, plug the controller back in, and we'll see if this corrected our problem. All right, again, here are our transmission wires coming out of the house from that transmitter. And again, just using this alligator clamp, I'm gonna clamp the loop back together. We'll go inside, plug the controller back in, and see if we have corrected our issue. So now let's plug that controller back in and see if we solved our problem. Not hearing any beeping. Blinking green light. All right, we're in good shape. Just to be sure, let's take the dog collar. We'll go to the perimeter and make sure that it beeps. All right, I have the invisible fence collar. That flag right there marks the boundary. And I hear the collar beeping. And the system is functioning properly. Alright, so now we've tested the system, we've determined that there's no more faults in the line, everything is operating as it should. What I'm going to do now is put on some gloves, remove these alligator clips, and just using these twist caps, I'm going to fill these with dielectric grease, remake the connections here, tape it up, and that'll be the end of this video. I gotta say, when I first read about this method, I was very skeptical that it would work, but let me tell you, it worked like an absolute charm. And for this method to be able to pick up this, literally, it was about 700 feet down the line, I think is just absolutely incredible. And for the radio, again, this is just a super cheap, battery-operated transistor radio that has AM, FM. Make sure you're on AM. And for me, it worked well, a little bit below 600 in terms of the tuning dial. But for your case, you're just going to have to play around with it. Go up and down the dial and see when you have the best interference sound. And there's really nothing else to it. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting or helpful, I'd appreciate you subscribing and checking out the channel. And I will catch you on the next one.